Okay, so let's start. Here we've got a new personal best rating of 2354, which is lovely. We can try to get in the 5-minute pool, see if we can get any closer to the 2400 mark, which would be lovely. Okay, we've got 2489 to begin with. That's a good start. Okay, let's go. So, been playing fairly well recently. Just had a bit of a bump of about 130 points in the last week alone, really. But I got up to 2350 a few months ago. Just hadn't quite been able to make it stick, really. Lots of bad play. Okay, so how can we do things here? Don't necessarily want to play rook b1, but also it might be quite a good idea long term to have something pointing at the queen. Likewise my bishop there. Okay, so that queen's escaped. Now, do we want to just play d5 immediately? Or do we want to... because I'd quite like to restrict that bishop on f8 and open up my dark squared bishop. That seems reasonable, doesn't it? Why not? Okay. It's not so easy to see how I make progress here immediately. I suppose taking the queen off the bishop's diagonal on h5 might be a reasonable idea. But then if I'm putting the rook on d1, I'm just making it even worse. I think this is probably okay. Just about. I think the main thing in this kind of position is just to be patient. Things might start happening. Okay, it's a bit less patient, but it's I think it's a good idea to start doubling. I probably should have played that before I threw in the rook to d1. Probably wasted the tempo there. Worse things have happened. Worse things have happened. Okay, so now we need to be careful of c5. So I suppose getting rid of this. Can I? Maybe I have to play bishop d3 here, which is slightly awkward, but I think worse things have happened. Okay, this is going alright, but I think black has absolutely nothing wrong with black's position here, so they can play quite calmly as well. Do I want to? I suppose I should probably try to take some squares over there on the king side, but how that is done is unclear. I think I'm going to have to play g3 first before I do anything on there. Okay, so black is going to gain some space here with c4. It's whether taking on e4. I think I can interpose with knight b5 first, and then keep that queen honest. Yeah, such that. Maybe not. Maybe this is just wrong. Okay, so I'm going to lose the e4 pawn, but I do have some play against that loose c pawn. Knight rook takes a4 is also on the cards, yeah, okay. Maybe I'm losing control here quite a lot. I'm just going to have to play this back, aren't I, and try to use the open B file as much as I can. I've still got a good space advantage, but that might be nullified fairly quickly. Yeah, this isn't going well at all actually. Don't think I've got much choice. I've got to try and go after this c-pawn to get something back. Mr. Yanov is playing quite well, as you might expect from a 2490. I don't understand this. What am I missing? Okay, I'll have that, and then if knight takes e4, my queen can hide somewhere like c1. It takes the rook as well, and I'm also threatening to take on c4. Alright, maybe this is going a bit better. But I am way down on the clock, so I need to play it with a bit more purpose than I might otherwise be doing here. Okay, so we've got our material back, and that queen doesn't have an enormous number of squares. Let's try to embarrass these pieces in the middle of the board. Also want to play rook c6 fairly soon. Fair enough, okay. So, what am I then? Just playing knight d2? Try and win that pawn that way? Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so that knight can now hop into e6 quite fairly easily, I think. I've got to be careful if knight takes d5 at some point, but this might be okay. Do I want to? Probably just very calm moves here. Don't need to do anything drastic, do I? Knight coming into e6 pretty soon. And from there, maybe I can use the 7th rank with my queen and rook to get him. So if knight takes d5, maybe this is bad for me actually. I was thinking rook c7, but he just takes the knight. Oh dear. Maybe this is a blunder. I don't know. Okay, he's played that instead. I feel like I can start going along the 7th rank here with impunity. Well, maybe not with impunity, but with ideas of doing stuff along that rank. Okay, so we've got both pieces now zoned in there, and I need to get my knight involved somehow. This has been a good game. Oh, hold on, you're letting my knight in immediately, are you? That might be very dangerous. Now threatening rook takes g7. And all that that implies come on. Winning the first one is always nice. Always a pleasure to win the first one. Come on. You got anything? What am I missing? Probably missing something here. Come on. Takes, and then so you got queen takes, queen b6 check. That's the only check on the board. And then I just win a. Oh, hold on. Can take that with the queen. Am I still winning a piece here? I really hope I am. Okay. This could be breathless finish now. Yeah, maybe lost a bit of control here, but should still be winning. Lovely, that's a very good win to begin with. Okay, let's go. So we've got we gained 7 rating points there, so we're within a few of. Okay. I need to find a way of getting games this show. Yes, I do. Come on, can I join that game? I hate the broadcast things on Lichess. It's just not very. It's not very intuitive. This makes great TV. I'm just wasting so much time here. There we go. Okay, finally. Right. Let's actually play some moves. If I have to do that every time, that's going to be really annoying. Right, I've got an IM, 25-17 IM. So let's play the canal attack. And try to gain some of the time that we jettisoned there. Quite an easy opening to play. Everything just sits. Looking at d5, and then you can try to get a pawn break at some point with f4, f5, or b4. d4 is also a potential move, but yeah, it's just fairly solid, and there's not an awful lot that black can do to stop your setup here. Right, we'll just try to weaken squares around the king as much as we can. And then we'll keep this structure where our knights can hop into the dark squares as much as possible. If you're just joining, this is the my quest for 2400. On Lichess, our friend Lee, and it's going okay so far. I've just beaten a 24.89 in the first game, and we're gonna do our best. We've made up the time, the 40 seconds that we gave away just by fiddling around with the server, with the software. And yeah, try to get to 2400 in the next hour. I think it's going to be unlikely, but God loves a tryer. We'll have a go, see how close we can get. If I lose racing points at the end of it, then so be it. Best thing you can do for your chess is to just keep playing against any level of opposition, really. Not sure what I want to do here. Maybe I want to try to force a. Yeah, I don't want to let that rook come into like b2 later on, so just closing up the b file there is probably not the worst thing. And then we can start manoeuvring towards the king. Okay, so I don't want to open up the h file either, but I may wish to open up the g file. That queen, if the queen takes g4 there, I think that's... Okay, so if the knight comes in instead, that's bad news, isn't it? Okay, I need to find a move here that doesn't immediately lose. I'll do my plan, I'll play f6 first. And then, right, so knight takes g4 is coming, we know that. That is not a big deal. What is a big deal is finding a way deal with it initially. I don't mind losing a pawn if I'm going to get this bind. So maybe queen e3 followed by queen h3. Okay. Is that strictly necessary? He's giving me the a4 move now for free. I mean, obviously we're worse here, we're just going to be a pawn down, but we have some chances. These rooks aren't going to be doing anything very soon. If we can somehow worm our knight in to, let's say, c6, that's going to be very tricky to do, I imagine, so maybe that's not something I should be looking to do. I suppose I want my king somewhere like g3 maybe to avoid any checks. And then, oh, we're just losing a second pawn. Maybe I am. Maybe this is going horribly wrong. Oh, okay, I've still got, after knight takes d3, I've still got rook d1. And then the d6 pawn hopefully falls here, I think. Don't think there's any tricks. Alright, so we've gained a little bit of something here, but we have opened up the position for his rooks, which is probably not ideal. Okay, there's some stuff I can do here maybe. Still not impossible that I can make things happen. Right, I want to hide my king, but I can't. Yeah, probably g2, just so it's out of the way of checks. Okay. That's nasty, because I can't play. The h pawn's just going to fall here, isn't it? Okay, I've got to go bargain basement. Try to get some cheapness here. Just go all out attack, otherwise I'm just going to get crushed. Bargain basement cheapos here. Wow, really, that's good calculation if that's sound, because the king doesn't have many squares. Where am I going with my rook? I don't have many squares either. To do some attacks. Yeah, this is over, isn't it? It's not far off being done, unfortunately. I don't think you can take that knight. I think f7 is good, but whether there's anything neat, there's probably a mate here for black. I'm just going to have to start pushing things. I don't think I've got much choice. Again, I'm probably remated, but like, honestly, who cares at this point? Yeah, that will do it. Well played, sir. Okay, never mind. Let's get back in the pool. Let's try to avoid some sharks in that pool. Be nice if I could get a game anytime soon. There we go, 23:30 with black. Okay, let's have a Caro Kann. Why not? Been playing this for 20 years. I've recently dabbled in the Sicilian, but with mixed success, particularly in these quicker games where everyone just Yugoslav attacks me and then I get thumped. This is not what I need from my lockdown Wednesday. F4, I'm not sure I've seen that move before. Suppose it makes sense. Let's kick that knight out of there though. I mean, maybe this is why it just doesn't make sense, because the knight now probably has to go back to, well, it goes back to f3, it's blocked the other knight. Okay, we'll just play the normal stuff here, I think, and try to make things work. I mean, if that knight comes to e5, it's just spent 4 moves doing that. And we are very happy with the queen swap, I think. If this happens, king can just go and hide on e7. Yep, so he's avoided that. We're threatening c4 and f4 fairly soon, I would imagine. Can we take this and then take on c4, or are we getting? Yeah, okay, so we can't. We definitely can't now, but that might have been possible if bishop takes. But this all looks fairly comfy so far. Just going to castle and then play rook d8. I think bishop d7 to c6 is also a live possibility. While that bishop is, their light square bishop is just sitting on b3 and doing not a whole lot. We'll just keep the queens on for now, I think, while their king is going to be exposed wherever it goes. Seems sensible. Okay, so he's put that bishop, that king, sorry, on a light square. That's like a red rag to a bull. Let's see if we can make something happen on the, throw this rook into this position, get the other rook onto d8, work our way in on the light squares perhaps, while our king is actually quite snug over there. I mean, if he takes the bishop, that just opens up the b file for me against the king. So far in this session, this is my little goal to try to get to 2400. So far in this session, I've beaten a 2489 and then lost to an IM, an international master rated 2519. So those of you who are good at maths, we are currently performing at 2504 with 1 out of 2 in this session, which is not bad. And yeah, this is a problem, isn't it? So this knight's just being attacked. If the knight moves, then I hoover everything off on d1 and then play knight takes c4, I think. So he's gone queen a5. One piece of mine that's doing nothing at the moment is this knight on g4, so I suppose I should try to use it. That's coming into, it's attacking the pawn on h2 of course, and f2 and e3 are also quite good squares for it, attacking that rook on d1, which at the moment is tied to the defence of the knight. White's pieces don't quite make sense here. Though bishop c2, c5? Okay. Question is whether I can get away with knight d5 here, but then bishop c2, rook d4. I might as well try and infiltrate as many of my pieces as I can. Right, I don't like it's coming into d6, which is a bit annoying, isn't it? I shouldn't have allowed that. Unless I've got some way of embarrassing him. Okay, maybe this was not the way to play. I suppose if knight d6, if I've got my, both my rooks off the back row, it's probably not too bad, because then nothing's being blocked really. It's just a very good square for the knight, of course, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily doing anything in particular on d6. I mean, this position just screams out that I must be doing alright, but I can't see a good way of avoiding any of breaking through somehow. And I might have just blown an exchange as well. Yeah, I lost control a lot there very quickly. That was not good. I can take this bishop off and have two very good knights. That's not a worry here. It's just I have lost quite a bit of control, which is a shame. Okay, so we can do things with our queen now quite happily. If he takes off on, yeah, I'm gonna have to run away a bit here just to keep the balance of the position. And I might have to speed up as well. I'll be annoyed if I lose this one because it's not something that was remotely necessary to allow any of this. Yeah, this is starting to get a bit horrible. Alright, I'm going to have to try and throw a knight into b4 instead and work my way towards the king. Do not want to allow knight e8. This is going quite badly wrong. That is nothing more than I deserve, unfortunately. That's terrible. I've just let the rook into the game as well. And rook e8. Oh, rook e8 would have done it, but we carry on, just about. Okay, so his king's still open, so I've got some chances here, but this is not the way to play. Don't advise this. Nonsense. As we play knight f6 takes f6 afterwards, are we back in this? I think we're back in this, aren't we? Okay, so we've got a time scramble now, where we are winning in theory. We can swap the queens off and just play against the rook with the two knights. That one. That one. Alright, let's try to go after this this pawn and then race it. I'll have that one for free. Gonna have to run these pawns quite quickly, aren't I? This seems just about solid. Or maybe not, maybe I'm just getting... this is horrible. Yeah, okay, this isn't good. Misplayed this entirely. And we got a draw here. He's just going to take this. Okay, we have a draw. That's not a bad result actually. I recovered a bit. I just kept fighting there. But yeah, not a good ending. I should have probably won that, but I didn't have an enormous amount of time. Never mind, let's keep going. So we've got 1.5 out of 3 so far, and I've got 24.70. Okay, another carry card, why not? We have a Panov Botvinnik. If you are a Karakan player, I highly recommend just looking at Karpov's games, particularly in the Panov Botvinnik. He was just able to keep control for so long, despite any of the tactical things that may and normally do arise in the Karakan. This line, yeah, I might have misplayed this. I think I should have taken the pawn first and then, but this is still okay. I can get b6 in just about. But the bishop f4 lines are tricky because you don't want to have knight b5 coming at you. Hope everyone's lockdown is as healthy as they can be. I am in the south of England, and yeah, I'm in the middle of the countryside, but obviously there's a limit to how much of the countryside you can use at these times. Now, what do I want to take this pawn with? Probably the pawn. We'll try and cling on with an extra IQP here. I mean, I think White must have misplayed this because you shouldn't play d5 when when the bishop on c4 is unprotected. I think you need to play queen e2 first, because knight a5 just opens up the bishop on b7 and allows me to win it for nothing. I suppose we just keep ganging up against the c4 square, so I can bring my knight in there. And I want to get rid of my dark squared bishop, probably. That's the issue with this line there. White gets the file as well. Alright. Got plenty of time to work everything out here. Oh, did we just win a piece or do we not? d4, knight e4 takes... I think we win in exchange, don't we? Got this discovery against the queen. Yeah, so... Okay, he's going to have very, very active minor pieces here, unless I've got f5. I haven't got f5 because it's pinned. Forget that. Okay, so we're at the exchange and a pawn up, but as I said, White has extremely active minor pieces which I'm going to want to hoover off as quickly as possible, otherwise I might start to feel the heat. Yeah, so those two bishops, if he can make his light square bishop better than my rook on f8, which is not ridiculous, is it? Because this is not a very active piece, then I might be in trouble. I might have started to have 4 pieces coming at me. This seems like a good way of swapping off some bits. Just need to be very careful not to allow anything to happen in a big way against the g7 pawn. Well, now I must be just completely winning, no? Because he hasn't got any anything happening really, and his king is still exposed. Okay, so that stops that. But alright, I need to be careful of things down the diagonal towards my king. Take our time here to make sure that we don't have anything unfortunate happen on f7. Let's do another fork, can't we? Fork the rook and the bishop. Win another pawn. Get some passed a pawns as well. Hopefully from here I'll be able to control what's going on. There's not a lot that he can do to disrupt my structure, I don't think, here. Don't want to allow anything like h6 and suddenly my dark squares are feeling horrible as well. Bishop b1, well, I guess I can play. I've probably got f5 in hand. Right, I would quite like to swap queens quickly here, so let's try to get that queen to b8 or d6 in order to do that. Okay, so he stopped me, but I think we can still. This can't be bad. And then queen f6 probably just shores up everything on the king side. And I'm still looking at f2. It's a possibility as well. I could come in on the h file. I can, after queen f6, I can probably just start to use my rooks. So he wins one pawn back, but now that my king is completely safe, yeah, I can bring my rooks in now. Maybe d3 and rook e2 or rook e5 to h5. All of these things are probably quite decent. And we've got plenty of time to win any complicated endings. I think just d3, no. And then we're coming rook e2 next. My queen defends everything. It defends f7. And it defends d8. And I think this game is close to one. Very close to sealing this. The rook obviously also blocks the rook's defense of the f2 square, so my queen will be able to come in soon, like now. And then I need to find a neat way of stopping all the ideas of queen h7. We should have enough. It may well be that queen h7 actually isn't a threat. I suspect my king can just land on f8 and everything is fine. So after the king moves, I can probably just promote the pawn, which is always nice. Yeah, I don't think there's any particular threat on h7. If he's just going to let his clock run out, then I guess this is the right time for me to promote this guy, to promote the podcast to you. The Chess Pit is available on all good and bad podcast. Say that again. The Chess Pit is available on all good and bad podcast platforms. We've had 13 episodes so far. We recorded episode 14 last night, and that will be out with you tomorrow. We've also got lots of bonus material on our Twitch if you wish to look at. Oh, he's just played a move. Okay, I am fairly sure I can just very happily queen, and that should be that, because the king can just go into e7, hide, and then I'm going to have mate in a couple of moves, or he's going to run out of time. He runs out of time. Okay, rematch sent. No thank you. I'm not. I would like a different opponent. Okay, Mad Hatter. Let's go. So let's play some e4 stuff. Have a bit more fun than the Englishes I've been playing lately. And they played my opening. They played the Caro-Kann. So we've had 2 Caro-Kanns with black today, and we've just had one with white. And if he's not going to take that pawn, I imagine he's okay. Anyway, yeah, the podcast is going very well. We got to #1 in Norway for hobbies the other week, which was fun. And it's been quite interesting having a look and seeing where people are listening to us from. But yeah, you can get it on Apple, Google, Spotify, iVoox, podcast, whatever it's called, all the other little ones, Podcast Addict, Castbox. Lots of options for your podcasting needs. I think this line is objectively not amazing, but I quite like it. I quite like the way that keeping all the minor pieces on the board, it does restrict black's options, though they can just take the d5 square quite happily. Though actually this looks a bit more promising after knight e5, because can I not just take on f7 after bishop h7? Is this playable? If it isn't, then it's like really close to being very good. Okay, but I need to back it up with some other stuff, so I don't want to allow knight come into d5, so we'll stop that. The basic idea here is just to now claim that the bishop on h7 and the rook on h8 are fairly useless, and hopefully we can make things happen. Yeah, so swapping off pieces is not going to be a bad idea, but his king is going to be really exposed for a long time here if I get my way, which I would do my best to do. What do I want to... Let's throw this knight in as well. Start going after g7 and e7. And maybe get the other rook into the game. The bishop leaving h7 is good, I think, for his prospects, but also it does mean that I have lots of holes on the light squares to use with my pieces other than my bishop, like rooks, queens and knights. Right. Okay, fair enough. So, but do I have a nice trick here with c5, and I'm threatening bishop d6 as well? It might be a really fun checkmate. If he takes the rook, bishop d6, king e8, knight g7 is mate. So I think now he's hoping to get a few pieces back for his queen, because otherwise, there we go, he resigns. Okay, thank you for the game. Where are we up to? We're doing alright. We're not going to get to 2400 before the hour is up, but we will get, I think we've made some progress. We started the session on 2354, started the session with beating a 2489, we then lost to an IM, and we, yeah, doing okay. So d4, let's play some stuff. So we've gained 12 points in this session, which isn't terrible. Bishop g5 immediately is unusual, but I'm sure it can't be terrible. This kind of Tory attack stuff if he goes e3 fairly soon. And yeah, let's just get the rest of our pieces going. There were some lines here where you can play b5, b4. Okay, so we stopped that. Having said that, I think this is still okay. And then, have I just got a5 here? Try and put extra pressure on everything, and then I think this position was in the first Carlsen Anand World Championship match, where I think Carlsen played bishop a6 here and lost. But if Carlsen's playing bishop a6, it can't be bad. It must have been his prep. So, and then, yeah, this seems okay. Where we can take the A file, but I'm not sure how to do it. Imagine I play queen a8 first. So what happened in that Carlsen game? Anand played b5, possibly here, and then the C pawn became huge and eventually decided the game. But here, I think we've got a nice little blockade, and we can use the b file now. Worry that pawn on b4. Okay, so solid opening. but nothing spectacular by either player, I don't think. Unless I can just now take this. That feels like a free pawn on c5 because of the pin. I think it is. I think this is just a free pawn. And then possibly the, yeah, okay, so my king gets open, but he's got no way of bringing this knight into the position, and then I just hop this bishop back to e7, do I? And then say, what are you doing? I think this is fine, and I can take the b pawn now that there's no threat. I'm just going to be a pawn up, aren't I? Surely. I hope so. I've got plenty of time to play the ending, which is always pleasing in these games where there's no increment. It is nice to have lots of time. 3 minutes is plenty to play an ending. Okay, so what we want to do here is just play e5, d4 at some point and get a passed pawn. All the while try to restrict this knight at the same time. I would rather, I think, keep the bishop on the board for now, at the very least. Now getting e5, d4 in is not going to be so easy, so I think we'll just make sure our king can't be checked and then try to back it up maybe with a pawn on f6, and we'll get the king into f6 maybe. There's no hurry. There is no hurry here whatsoever, I don't think. Somewhere I've just got to get a passed pawn. I can't get it so it's 4v3 in some other way, otherwise I might be struggling to prove the worth of my position. I either want to get a passed pawn or create a an isolated pawn, maybe on d4 for him. Okay, so he's got good control over d4. He's got three pieces looking at it. So I need to find a way of doing something here, I guess. All right, let's play it. Let's take a different tack here. Tries to solidify everything around here. I'm not sure. I might have misplayed this. It feels like it should have been a bit easier than this to make progress, but equally, I'm not sure what I've done wrong. Yeah, I can't think this is much good actually. All right, but he's let me play d4 now, has he? Because even if like the knight takes f5 and he gets the pawn back, I've now got this passed pawn. Yeah, I think this is going a bit better. So knight takes f5, king takes f5, rook takes d6, king e5, and then what? Yeah, rook d7, rook b3, and we can start to march this pawn hopefully. Well, maybe I actually wanted to play the rook to b6 there. I just wanted to stop king f3. That was my main motivation. But yeah, maybe this is a bit trickier. Getting my king out of the way, but maybe this is actually not very good. Have I just blown this completely? Okay. Wow. I'm not sure what to do. D2 to King E2. I'm gonna. Okay, we have to play a bit faster here. Can I make things happen over on the king side? Maybe this is just nonsense. I don't think this is any very impressive play by me. This is all completely unnecessary. Yeah, I'm definitely not better now. Certainly not winning. I think this might just fizzle out into a draw, unfortunately. Need to be careful of not letting him trade off into any winning king and pawn endings though. Well, now this feels... No, I can't play. Can I play king d5? d5 and then hope that my... Oh, this is just going to be a draw, isn't it? Because king c4... I think I've just got to take the draw here. I don't think I've got much choice. Okay, never mind. Worse things have happened. Okay, well played. We'll have the draw. Well defended. Okay, thank you very much for the game. First slight disappointment of the session. Got another 2200. This will be the last game of this stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been not bad. I've gained 9 points so far. Had a very good win the first game. It was a 24.89, and then not an awful lot in between to write home about. But let's finish with a little Catalan. Play some proper chess. Kramnik once said that in response to anyone who plays e4, why play e4 when you can play d4 and fianchetto your bishop? Because it's just very risk-free generally. Let's try. So those pawns on the queen side mean that there's some holes on the dark squares. Let's try and get them. It'd be nice to finish this stream with a win. It's always good to win the first one. It's always good to win the last one as well. Do I not just win this pawn on b7? I will assume I do. Really hope there isn't anything nasty that I've missed here. The point is here that after... Okay, maybe I don't win a pawn, but no, surely I do. Because can I not play queen b3? And then the knight on c6 is hanging after the queen exchange. And you can't ever play rook b8 because my bishop on f4 is looking at it. And yeah, if we just want a pawn and we're looking at the knight on c6, and there aren't many ways to defend it. Okay, it's not a fantastic extra pawn, these double pawns on the b file, but a6 is loose, and I can start maybe to swap off some pieces to make my task in converting this a bit easier. Okay, if we can get past c pawn, that would be helpful as well. If not, I'm just going to probably play knight d2 next, and or take on e4 first and then play knight d2 to defend the pawn on b3. I will have that. happily. And then what do I take on a6 as well and threaten the rook and the knight at the same time? I mean, this can't be very fun, being the exchange and 2 points down. But black still has some active pieces here, of course, and I should not chalk it up just yet. That's one of the pawns gone, and the second one is likely to follow fairly soon on b2. Okay, let's actually think properly here about what we want to do. What I'd like to do is play knight d4. That is my decision. Knight d4, try and kick that knight that's blockading my passed pawn out of the way. And also maybe play, get the pawn out of danger on where it was on e2. And play rook fd1 fairly quickly to activate that other rook, and then I can bring in my bishop via f1. All of these things might be reasonable. Don't think this changes much. If bishop e2, then I've just got rook d2. It gets rid of my plan of playing knight d4, but my pawn on b2 is now much more snug, and I've still got e4 to come to really try to put pressure on this knight. I mean, still the exchange down. I don't think there's any need for me to panic here. Yeah. If knight b4, then I think I've just got c6, and that pawn will promote. Knight b4, c6, knight takes c2, c7, and there's no good way to stop the pawn promoting, well, that's not really going to help, I don't think, king f8. So what about playing e4 here? Is that the way to play? Give up a pawn, but actually I probably want to defend the bishop first before I let anything happen on the e5 square. Some way of bringing this bishop into the game. And then, or for a trade. And then if he plays for something like rook b8, I think I can happily swing this rook across, or just play b3 maybe. Maybe b3 is just... Oh no, because I've got knight b4 to worry about, do I? Yeah, I do. Okay, we can... I think we're still okay here, because we've got this passed c pawn, I've still got the exchange up. And... bishop takes b2, rook a6... No, rook a4, I think is a bit more principled. I just need to be able to get in e4 or bishop b5 somehow. Take some more squares, I suppose. This isn't as easy as I thought it might be, actually, to convert. I think e4 makes sense. And then if d4, e5 and bishop f3 is coming to start to shift this knight off that annoying c6 square. I need to open up some lines for my bishop. When you've got opposite colour bishops like this, just go in on that colour, because obviously your opponent can't defend on that colour complex, and you're basically just going to be a piece up if you attack on the right colour here. By putting all my pawns on dark squares, I'm restricting that bishop as well. As you can see, all the lines are opening towards for me and not for my opponent. Well, now I can, I think, just... Ooh, okay. I need to be careful, of course, of d3. So, start taking pawns, I think. Ooh, alright. This is maybe a bit hairier than I would have liked. But if we can even just get to a position where we say have rook against, if I can, well, now I think I win one of these pawns, and this might start to be the end. Flat pawn structures are good for defending from the side, but not from the flank. This isn't over. I really do not love this. Wow. If I can sacrifice the rook for 2 pawns, I've got rook and 4 pawns against the rook and a bishop. That may be sufficient. But this is not fun, actually. I've misplayed this, obviously. Wow. Why is it always a sweat? This is ridiculous. Maybe I'm just lost. Wow. Throw the pawns. See. Yeah, this is winning. Completely winning for them. Wow. That didn't go so well, did it? Oh well. Worse things have happened at sea. I think we're just going to end up with a position where we have. Well played. Okay, thank you very much for watching. That was a really sad way to end. Just let his pawns get too big, and we ended up +1 on the session, +1 rating point. But yeah, thank you for watching, and our next stream is, I believe, Saturday morning. I'm doing a simultaneous exhibition against Ealing Chess Club. But yeah, there's the podcast. Give it a listen. If you haven't already, give us a subscribe, give us a review and a rate if you do listen. Thank you very much.